Yes, guys, welcome back to the Inter Extra podcast. I'm here once again with my boy Sean to the left of me. Sean, good evening, good afternoon. How are you doing?
How's it going? I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah,
As good as I can be doing. Thanksgiving's this week, so my mind's on. After this, of course, my mind's on family and celebrating the American holiday of Thanksgiving.
yep. Happy
Um, the
Thanksgiving.
the yeah, thank you. The real Thanksgiving, by the way, to any of you Canadian listeners, with your October holiday. No, it's good. It's good. How about you?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I was in Amsterdam today. Had a good day out. But yeah, so recording ahead of tomorrow's Champions League game, just for your information before we say anything. So we don't know the result of that yet. This should be going up sometime on Wednesday, but yeah, we're gonna preview that, and we're also gonna obviously look at the derby, and we're also gonna go through some of the updates on the transfers, as per usual. But yeah, for now, Sean, if you wanna go ahead and give some social media, um, yeah, links where the people
Of
need to go.
course. Yeah, well, of course, if you're listening here on YouTube or you're watching us here on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Also, make sure you hit the bell icon so you can get notified whenever this drops. You don't have to wait for our post on Twitter. Um, if you are listening on your podcast platforms, we started doing a new thing as well. We're going to be dropping our podcasting link that connects to all the different platforms that we're streaming on. So um, check that out underneath the posts. But yeah, give us a 5-star rating, leave a review if they ask for it, all those good things. Share with all of your friends. Anybody who's not into football, make sure you get them into calcio and make them interisti. So yeah, and then follow us on Twitter on X. I believe the last I saw was 68.6 thousand followers. Yeah, come on, we're trying to get to 70K before the end of the year. Let's see if we can do it. It's going to be maybe a big jump tomorrow after tomorrow's game. That would be great. But or if
Yep,
you're listening to it on Wednesday, tonight's game. So yeah,
that would be a nice
yeah,
Christmas present. Would be a nice Christmas present. I would love that.
hmm
Yeah.
absolutely.
I think that's everything. I appreciate the reminder. I will start with guys. Unfortunately, we have to mention it just briefly because we both said before recording this doesn't like I don't have much to say to the loss, guys. Inter won. Sorry, I wish Inter won. Inter nil, Milan won, and as Thomas said it, just not our night. I think that's the best way to put it. It was a frustrating watch, bro. The usual Allegri like terrorizing his way to a win, and Cianoro missed a pen, which never happens unless it's Napoli last season. It was just
Yeah,
like the only
mm,
thing I have to say is it was just frustrating to sit there and having to like you almost know, like not 100%, but you almost know how this is gonna go as soon as they scored, and there was nothing you can do about it.
yeah. There's the two things that I want to mention, and I tweeted them out. Is um, and y'all comment below on what you think about this, please. Fig- Say what you think is the problem with this team at the moment, but um, the mentality of the leaders of this team, they're still fried. I think after the second star, we've had, I think it's 2 or 3 points against the three, like the Napoli, Juve, Milan. I mean, that's not a Kivu thing. It doesn't look like it's a Kivu thing or an Inzaghi thing. We've seen multiple times that the coach and the manager has set up the team to succeed, and they did not succeed. So the mentality, hopefully, it can be turned around and can be fixed. Other than that, the only upper management can fix that. There's only a couple solutions you can do to that. Um, and then the only other thing that I'll mention is patience, everybody. It's game week. What was it? That's 13 or 12. Game week 12. 8 wins, 4 losses. Um, we got a little signs of life from Andy Doof. You know, this guy. I think we've said it on this pod. We don't hate the guy. We don't think that he's going to fail at Inter because he's not a good enough player. but because we have no idea why he was brought in to Inter. Like it
Well,
was, you know,
we do, but we know it was a panic buy to some extent.
yeah. So
To
it's
what
like
extent we don't
didn't
actually
set
know
him
because we
up.
can't see behind the
Mhm,
doors. But
mhm,
we said this last week. We can't necessarily blame him
mhm.
because his hands are kind of tied. Like, and this is why I'm happy. I was going to mention this as well. I'm happy like how the little cameo went yesterday. Yeah, obviously, the team goes first, but for him personally, out of position too. Why did he slap him at right mid? That was frying me. That was the funniest thing ever. But he was one of the few players that were actually moving. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and he's played them, of course, the right side behind the striker in one of the games earlier this season where, everyone says he was a disaster. No, it's good. It's like it just I want to say patience for all of these guys. Um Antonio Conte didn't play Afrak Hakimi for I think it was like 3 months until he actually got the starting spot. Like
something like that.
imagine you have that caliber of player that you still make wait to start and to play regular minutes. He's French, doesn't speak Italian, completely new team, a step up. I mean, Serie A, everyone I think will agree that Serie A is a step up from Liga. So just some patience,
Especially
I think.
tactically as well. Like
Hmm.
I think it's different compared to Luis Enrique because with Luis Enrique, like there's a level of like basically there's enough performances for us to be able to judge him. With Juve, we've seen like 10 minutes, and
Yeah.
therefore, regardless of what happens in training, it's unfair to say he's a flop or not. Well, at least in terms of performance, in terms of playing
And
time,
based off of
on
him.
paper
Yeah.
it looks
Yeah.
bad.
Mhm.
But you can't be as harsh on him as you can be with Luis Enrique, unless he's actually not training well at all. But I don't think he is because if he wasn't,
Yeah.
I think he would mention it and he wouldn't let it slide.
Yeah, there's six midfielders in front of him. Like, what is he supposed to do? He was just supposed to drop six midfielders for this new signing. Like, yeah, whatever. I think that's all I needed to say about that. Just
Yeah, hence why I also
um,
said last week that I don't think we should have bought him, because six
mhm,
was enough. But that's just personal opinion. I
yeah,
I do wanna talk about both Luis Enrique and Andy Juve because we mentioned this last week. I think we were kind of trendsetters because after we mentioned that, um, I forgot who brought it to your attention. Maybe you want to shout out.
yeah. Mr. Alpha Bravo on Twitter. It was in a
Thank you.
yeah, privately, just kind of mentioned that he didn't understand why all of these places were mentioning that because if he had the rules right, and that's why I mentioned it, if the rules are we understand them correctly, there was no way that he could leave and play for someone else.
Yeah.
So someone listens to us,
And then
and
every journalist suddenly knew that as well.
mhm,
Guys, if we're not trendsetters, then I don't know what. Like we're obviously doing something right. But
yeah,
no, whether or not it was us, but basically every journalist like confirmed our theory, and it'll be difficult. And I don't, like I said last week, I can't see him going to like outside of the top five league on loan.
yeah.
But that's just me. Like maybe something like no, I don't no, I just can't see it. No, I was just
Look,
thinking for a
him
second, but
him learning Italian, staying here, and just learning the language and the culture and getting settled is probably going to be better than trying to get him force some game time
yeah.
somewhere else. So
And I also feel like we just have to firm it on the 25 million that they wasted.
mhm,
Like we just have to accept it at this point. So yeah. Same thing with Luis Enrique. I don't have the tweet put up, but I do feel like Luis Enrique also won't leave, like we said last week. So there's not really an update on that. It's just to kind of establish that that's probably not going to happen, and it's like 95% that they're both staying. One player that's not staying is Francesco Acerbi. So the signs have been there for months now that he's not going to extend his contract. He's getting what 38 now next year, or if it's even this year. I forgot when his birthday is, but basically
yeah.
he is. Sorry, go on.
It will be before next season. So I don't know if it's late in the year or summer, but he's going to be 38 before the next season.
Yeah. So we've known the interest through Simone Inzaghi, who's obviously Al Hillal's manager. question is, like, does it make sense for Inzaghi? Because Acerbi's not getting younger. I guess for Saudi, he's still good enough. How many years is he going
This
to have
man
left in
loves
that?
him.
Probably like a
Who
year or
cares?
two on Saudi league level, you know? Like, he can probably still defend Ronaldo. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just being
He
cheeky, but
definitely he definitely wouldn't be letting him score bicycle kicks with all that free time in the box, you know. He'd be
yeah,
clattering into him.
yeah. So that's going to be an interesting one to watch where he goes. But I think we don't need to talk about this too much because we know that he's gonna leave regardless. Like, there's on the Vry, we said is still unsure, so we'll keep an eye on that. Like, if he's gonna stay. Right now, it's looking more like 65% that he's staying and actually gonna help develop whoever, whether that's Bissek or a new player that's developing at central centre back. And for Acerbi, we're just gonna see where he goes rather than if he goes. So much on him.
Yep.
And then the final thing in terms of outgoings, I guess, not outgoings in this case, is that three youth players have extended their contracts, which is amazing to see. Shout out to Jamal Idrissou because he's having a great season so far. 18 years of age as well. Mattia Zanchetta, obviously son of former Primavera manager Zanchetta. And then also Alain Tahoe, the Albanian goalkeeper, who has been included in the first team squad once or twice already this season. So good to see the contract extension for talents that are actually prospects for the future. And then if you
Future
don't sell
U23
them,
players.
yeah, if you don't sell them, Idris is already playing under 23s, so much on that.
Mm.
And if you don't sell them, then sorry, if you do sell them, then you have some good income there as well. And speaking of youth players, Italy under 17 with Leonardo Bovio being in the squad got knocked out yesterday out of the under 17 World Cup. So they had a good run up until the semi final. Got knocked out by Austria, guys. Just saying, they're playing in the final on
Hey,
Thursday.
hey.
Um, so
Tell him how it is, Simi. Tell him how it is.
yeah, no, listen. I was a bit conflicted, obviously, but I was jokingly grilling my Italians for for that game. Yeah, but yeah, good tournament from them. Good to see the Italian young generation still having beating some good teams along the way, and
Hey,
yeah, it's
that's
promising.
their best. It's either they match their best ever performance in that competition, the U17 World Cup, or it is their best performance, the
Mhm.
Italian U17 team. So, regardless, that was a good tournament from them.
Yeah,
So,
so shout
yeah.
out to them. Bovio didn't really play much. He played the last few minutes in the quarterfinal against Burkina Faso, which was on Friday, I believe, and then didn't play again on Monday. But it's good that he still got a few minutes in every other game, and definitely a good experience. Like going to a World Cup with all these teams. So he's gonna be back with the Primavera soon. And then yeah, that's everything in terms of incomings. Sorry, outgoings. And then moving on to no, sorry, no, yeah, incomings. Yeah, sorry, I'm a bit confused.
Yeah, yeah.
But
No, you're good.
this
Our
is
team news to now
our
other
team
other
news.
teams.
Yeah. So this is a quote from Gianluca Di Marzio. Shout out Di Marzio and his team. On the transfer window in January, he says Inter is unlikely to do anything in January as of today. Juve can't move because he's already played for two clubs this season, as we just mentioned. Club is happy with Luis Enrique and is considering moving him. There aren't any immediate needs for the squad, but there's still time to see before January. Basically, just they don't know what's happening. That's a way of saying it.
Yeah,
But I like the confirmation that no one's leaving because it's just like we need to stop speculating about this type of stuff.
yeah.
So
And I think like if there is something that happens in January, it's going to be more of a Sucic type deal, not a Zalewski type deal, if that makes
yeah, so
sense.
like
Right?
February confirming for June kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like locking in someone like I don't know, a goalkeeper maybe, or
Mm.
whatever is the relevant part that needs to be improved. Maybe a central centre back, maybe a right centre back, maybe
Yep.
locking in a Kanji already in February, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see on that, but I don't think we'll have a lot to tweet about in January, that's for sure. Speaking of goalkeepers, I do want to mention, let me pull this up first, right? Because we have an exclusive, uh Inter Extra exclusive for a name on the list for goalkeepers, which is Kawa Santos, and he is Frankfurt's second goalkeeper right now. I'm a bit confused on their goalkeeper situation. If someone knows, if someone watches the Bundesliga more than I do, then I would be happy to understand what is going on with the goalkeeper situation because he was Kevin Trapp's backup. I know that, and then he got some game time, and people were seeing that he's talented, and now he's kind of on standby for now. I'm a bit confused why, because I feel like the few times that I have watched him, he's made some good saves, but there might be some red flags. So, Sean, I don't know how well
Mhm.
you know him, how much you've watched him. You can be honest, that's fine, because not everyone watches Bundesliga. But yeah, do you have any opinion on him?
Well, I actually have watched a couple Eintracht Frankfurt games, and specifically one of the ones that he played in, the Mönchengladbach versus Frankfurt game. I didn't notice him much. I mean, that was a 10-goal thriller, so it already doesn't sound great. But uh, yeah, I wasn't watching him closely or directly, so it's not something I could really attest to. But um, yeah, it's interesting. Sometimes how a defense is set up makes a goalkeeper look worse than it actually is. So it is, not just the statistics that he has right now this season, but actually watching him, there might be something that they like to see. But I have no idea about. He'd have to be watched closer.
Yeah, like I said, those signs that he's now again the backup goalkeeper means that, and also you can see that a lot of goals when he did play in recent times. There's probably a reason why Inter are keeping an eye on him, but there's also probably a reason why no one went in for him yet. It's one of those things where you always kind of need to be a bit careful with these type of goalkeeping talents because there's probably some, not that you couldn't fix these things, but still we have Josep Martinez at home. I feel like that's already a great start in terms of looking at goalkeepers for the future few seasons. So yeah, he's a name on the list, and then these names are being dropped more and more now because of Sommer's recent performances. We have to say it. Also about the derby, I forgot to say this earlier. The goal is slightly on, if not mainly on him, with the save to the side. I know these are not easy saves to make. Buffon said this in the post match. These saves are like tough because the shot isn't the strongest. So when you parry it out to the side, it doesn't go out for a throw in, but it goes like 3 meters to the right of you, perfect for a tap in for an attacker of the opposing team.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
I see Buffon is trying to give him grace because he sees it from a goalkeeper's perspective, but it's still on him. Like it doesn't make it any better for Inter, you know?
3 players. If he parries it in front of him, 3 Inter players there. Parries it to the one spot where there's one Milan player. You know. Also, if he's taller, he can get his hand wrapped around it. It's a couple things. It's like it's not totally on Sommer, but their father time never loses is all I'll
Yeah,
say.
yeah, that's
So
correct. So speaking of the names that have been dropped again recently, this is by Pasquale Guaro. He named Elia Caprile, who've been linked with recently, Alex Meret, which is interesting, Zion Suzuki, and Guglielmo Vicario. So, listen, I don't want any of these four keepers. Vicario is a good keeper. Suzuki has his bozo moments. Meret also has his bozo moments, and Caprile also has his bozo moment. He literally had one this game week for Cagliari. I don't know if you saw the highlights. Like,
I watched that game.
yeah, no,
It
okay,
was
yeah. See, also, shout out to Seba Esposito, scored a banger, right? Scored a Lautaro type outside the boot goal. The train is still here, guys. The train is still running, okay? We do not give up. I saw someone on Twitter saying the everyone's focusing on Pio, we're still focusing on Seba. So, yeah, but off topic, Caprile had a little bit of a howler in that game.
think he's better than the rest of those names on that list.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yes, he's not ready to step in and take over the Inter number one. So
yeah.
yeah,
One thing that made me laugh, and I think you're gonna agree with me here, is I just pulled up the tweet. Source is Corriere, not even Corriere dello Sport, just Corriere. The newspaper about everything that happens.
hmm
Apparently, they know that Inter is considering a sensational move for Mike Maignan in the summer. The goalkeeper will be out of contract at Milan, and the departure is looking likely. How convenient to drop this after Maignan just dropped the best goalkeeping performance of the Serie A season so
so
far.
Magnan knew this, and he dropped his his interview. That was his interview. This brother was auditioning for the job, and he said, "I'm done finishing 8th. Can I get a spot on your team?"
Wait,
These
how
guys,
many times?
Corriere knows nothing, but I'm running with this. I don't care.
Nah, I have to say, how many times have you seen this where someone drops a masterclass against Inter? It could, bro. I think it could be Messi dropping a masterclass against Inter, and the next day someone would say Inter are monitoring Lionel Messi for the next transfer window. We know how this goes. It made me laugh. Guys, please don't believe this. Like, with all due respect, I don't know why we even talk about this. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
It's
a
so
hit tweet.
funny. It needed to be, yeah, it needed to be, yeah, it needed to be tweeted because that's just, it's elite rage bait after
Thomas,
yesterday's
I can't
game
blame you. Yeah,
or
it's
2 days
elite
ago.
rage bait.
Sunday's
28
game. Yeah.
retweets, 19
Yeah.
replies, bro. This is how we need to farm, bro. We need to make the money somehow. You know what I'm saying? So
hmm
no, but in all seriousness, like this is obviously just pulled out of nowhere. But yeah, if it happens, I should do some. I should make a bet if this happens. What I should do, guys, drop it in the comments. If my nan signs for Inter in the summer, we'll all be laughing. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
But
if only if Oak Tree lets him cook the Beppe special. He's got to
yeah,
start working now on it. But
yeah.
anyway.
We'll see on that. Guys, moving on to centre backs. The interest in Thiago Gabriel, Lecce defender, is confirmed. The So he's 20 years of age. He's Portuguese, and scouts have watched the 20-year-old live in multiple matches this season, and he's one of the young players who will be evaluated in defense. Yeah, a good name. I'll be honest, I haven't watched Lecce at all this season. Maybe like 1 or 2 games. But in terms of what I
Mhm.
know, there's potential. It's a good name to keep an eye on, but the season's still long, so we
That's
don't have to rush
that's
into any
a
deal.
really, really young name. So I think
Yeah.
that's really interesting. We don't have any names that young typically that we've gone for. So just remember Bisek was 23 when he came in. Bastoni, yeah, we got it 19, 20. That's the last time we gotten somebody that young,
Hmm.
right? Because it's been Pavard, it's been Acerbi, it's been De Vrij, it's been Akanji, it's been like we've moved Carlos Augusto back, we've moved Darmian back. You know, these we haven't had a name that young in a while. Um, and so yeah, it's exciting. I know a lot of people are excited for him. I've only watched a couple Lecce games. He hasn't done anything that like makes me think he's a bozo. So that's good because you play for Lecce, it can be easy to be caught out on something. You know, your teams are other teams have higher quality and you're just bombarded, you know, minute after minute with things. But so that's a good sign. I haven't seen anything special, but you know, players develop. So keep an eye on him. You guys let us know what you think.
Yeah, I will be keeping an eye on him now if I do get the chance to watch a few Lecce games. Then yeah, we'll be good. We'll be doing some scouting myself. Moving on to midfield, I didn't actually do this on purpose, but we're moving forward in the formation. Uh, we know that Christian Kivu likes Manu Kone a lot, and I also like Manu Kone a lot. I think you do as well. And there is, obviously, according to Fabrizio Romano, no doubt that Inter appreciates Manu Kone. But just as Roma was clear in the summer, Manu Kone is a fundamental player for the club and for Giampiero Gasperini. I wants to keep the midfielder at all costs unless an extraordinary offer is made, which we will not make. I don't think. This will be maybe something for the summer, but I don't see it. I don't think I see it, especially if we give Juve time and he's going to develop into something, hopefully. And so I would put this on the side for now, just because I don't feel like it's conclusive enough to even, consider for the future. I'm not even showing the tweet.
It'd be
Sorry,
so
guys.
great, but it would be so wonderful. But yeah,
Yeah,
he's the
again,
most important player at
I'm a
Roma.
huge fan. I'm a huge like this is one of the players where I would be willing to splash a lot of money on, but I understand why Inter probably don't want to. And so I think the spending 25 million on Andy Juve has probably done enough damage in terms of wanting to spend a lot of money on midfielders.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's so much on Manu Kone. And I don't know if you want to talk about Morten Friendrup because I know those rumors have been dismissed ish.
No, if that's all we need to talk about, cool. Finally
Lovely.
done with it.
Because I'm not like compared to Kone especially, there's a Lee's a level like Kone's a level above. I think we can agree,
Yeah.
if not two.
Yeah.
And then the same goes for Karim Adeyemi because there was rumors about Karim Adeyemi. He only wants the Premier League, so he's out
Good.
of like because obviously there was Juventus rumors in the summer. These rumors now, I don't see it personally. And then I also want to talk about something a bit sad, more sad, because Zinho van Huysen has made the decision to retire from professional football at age 26 after various injuries. He just got another injury. Obviously, he left for Mallorca on a free in the summer. Had a promising few moments in his career. Got called up for Belgium even once or twice. I think 2023 after a few good games with Standard Liège, I believe was it, where he was on loan in Belgium.
Yeah. Yeah, and he
It,
captained them, I think.
and he captained them. He played for Belgium, and then 2 years later, this is just sad to see. Like this is if you're just unfortunate with injuries, this sport can
Yeah.
be rough, man. And I feel for him. I
Yeah,
really
I
do.
know. And we were so excited about him too. Like we were about to have a I think at the moment our most successful center back the f- in my recent memory, our two most successful center backs from our academy has been Bonucci and Ranocchia. Like we were about to have someone that we actually thought was going to be able to contribute to our team, and it's just such a shame. That's why we're bringing it up, not because he's an Inter player, but if you guys have been following Inter for some time now, you would have heard that name for many, many years, and it is a shame. It's sad to see. So
Yeah, I really do believe that he has the talent, or well, I have to say had the talent now. But these things can just mess with you, and I understand why he retired. I really can't blame him. These injuries are rough, not just physically, but also mentally. In both ways, it's incredibly hard to come back from one, two, let alone three rough knee injuries like that. And it's yeah, it shows a deeper side to football really. But yeah, I wish him all the best. In terms of whatever he has planned, maybe he'll go into a managerial career. There's plenty of options, but yeah. So that's the update on that. I do want to mention a new sponsorship deal. So Red Bull is a new global energy drink partner of Inter. Now I've seen Red Bull billboards throughout the whole season, but I feel like that's in various Serie A stadiums. So maybe that was there before, but I feel like they've just strengthened the partnership in terms of like actually being the club's global energy drink partner, as it says here, until basically for the next 3 seasons, including this one.
mhm.
And so
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, everybody knows how involved Red Bull is in all sports, really. You'd be surprised how far-reaching Red Bull is into, various athletics. So, um, yeah, it's interesting. Maybe it's a boost in sponsorship. Maybe now they're going to be bigger names. Maybe they're going to be we're going to have cans on the tables, and since we don't have Ronaldo, he's not going to push it to the side. They'll actually stay there at the podium or the tables or wherever. But
yeah.
um, yeah, it's
It's far from
good.
anything like a club ownership, like with Leipzig, for example. It's more so just an energy drink part, kind of like Torino have it, because Torino also have like the obvious connection, because obviously they're also called the Bulls, Toro. So I guess it's going to be something similar. So you have like a few sponsorship things here and there, but far from
Yeah,
anything that they do with like where they own clubs. So yeah, good to know. Some good extra income though, of course. Then moving on to yeah, we're already moving on to the upcoming game,
yeah,
which is Atleti. Do you want to talk about the because we forgot earlier? Do you want to talk about the other teams that
yeah.
played as well?
I'll run through everything
Let's
else.
do that
Um,
first. Let's do that first. Yeah.
mhm. So actually, outside of the Derby della Madonnina, we had a good weekend for all of the other teams. So
Yep.
coming back from um, the international break, I think I might have mentioned this last week. I'm going to mention it again if I didn't. But in the Inter women's team, we did record after it. It was the 0-0 draw, 1-0 loss on aggregate in the Europa Women's Cup.
Yep.
So, you know, out there. But at the weekend, they turned things around. Their first win in 5 games in Serie A, I believe, with a 2-0 win over Lazio. So,
Lovely.
good to get back to winning ways for them. Um, and again, if anybody knows where to watch them, I'm sure we've got some fans that would love to know where they can watch the women's team. I know that sometimes it's been the YouTube channel, but it would be better to have a more regular site to watch them. Um, and then the Primavera, they won 3-1 over Torino, so they're continue. I think this is their fourth straight win in the Primavera League since the Mosconi and Idrisu combo came back. Um, makes sense. If you can't score goals, you can't win games. Now you're scoring goals and you can win games. So
Yep.
good for
Idrisu
them.
played for the under 23 though. Sorry to correct you. Mosconi was playing for the Primavera. Idrisu came on for the under 23s.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, still, yeah, that's good for the
Yeah.
Primavera then. They're finding solutions, you know, even with the younger guys.
Yeah.
And then the U23 team with a what was it in the 70 something minute
1-0
Spina
win.
1-0 win over Trento, which keeps them fourth in the Serie B. Well, they're fifth, but they have a game in hand, which we'll mention when we do the upcoming games.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're continuing to win, doing well. It's awesome.
Yeah. I saw that. I saw the highlights on that as well. It was a bit of a scrappy goal. I don't know if you watched the highlights yet. It was from a corner and then Spinace, like striker's instinct, basically kind of what we're missing for the first team. So if Kiwo wants to have a look at his options, but no. Um Spinace genuinely happy that, he's flowing now. He's in flow state in terms of scoring goals. And
Yeah.
yeah, these goals are also important. These wins are important. So these scrappy wins, these ugly wins, away from home. Trento, not the biggest stadium either. Like you have to win these games if you want to get to Serie B, and
Yep.
solidify yourself in men's football and professional football. So yeah, before we actually move on to the Champions League game and whatever the game is on the weekend against Pisa, do you want to mention the other games that are upcoming first?
Yeah, of course, and I'll run through that the same direction again. So, um, Inter's women's team, what I looked up, it looks like there's going to be a break for them, so they're going to have a break, and we'll talk about their next game next
When
week
it comes, yeah.
because yeah, when it's actually the upcoming weekend. Yeah, so they don't play for 2 weeks. I imagine that means it's an international break. Um, and then the Primavera, so they play Atleti Primavera team or U19 team tomorrow as well, um, in the UEFA Youth League, and then we
Let me
have
check the time on that. Do you know the
yeah,
time?
it's typically like 2 or 3 p.m.
It's
Central
4
European
p.m.
time.
4 p.m.
Um, and then we have a Primavera Derby della Madonnina on Sunday in the morning. Um, so hopefully they can get some revenge for the senior team. Uh, then the U23 team. I'm gonna name all of the games that we could play before the next time we record. Um, so tomorrow, Wednesday, same day as the Prima or the Atleti game for the Youth League and the Champions League. The U23 team is playing Renate tomorrow, somewhere around the same time as the Youth League, I believe. And then we have Provercelli on the weekend, and then the suspended Dolomiti Bellunesi game um,
Next week.
next Wednesday.
Hmm.
Uh, so if we don't release our podcast before then, I did want to mention that. So they've got 3 games over the next 8 days. Uh,
Tough
yeah,
schedule,
so we're
but
gonna
the
have a lot of
squad is
action.
there, which is good. There's a man
Yeah,
for man like substitute on every position, which is good to have that luxury, and also it was smart building the squad like that. And if you still need players, you can still always go to the Primavera. So the game tomorrow is at 3 p.m. Central European time, so it's actually an hour earlier than the Primavera,
cool.
but it is at home, so that's good.
Yep. And so then the senior team, I will mention the Pisa game first so that we can just move right into our last thing. So yeah, Pisa is Sunday, 3 p.m. Central European time, 8 a.m. over here in the States in the Central Standard Time. And you can figure out what time that is for you in the different time zones. So yeah,
Yeah, there,
and
there
then
is the cup game against
Atleti Milan.
Venezia. next week. On is it
Okay.
Wednesday? I do just want to mention that it's at
I think
home,
so. Yeah,
so it'll
it
probably be
is.
before we record the next episode because today is Tuesdays and normally we're recording a day early. So
That's
three
true. We
games
would probably
also.
record right after that. Yep.
Yeah, that's probably the
Venezia,
plan.
Wednesday
Let me write that down
evening.
before I forget because I know I'm gonna forget. So that game is on the third, right?
Yep, on the 3rd, 2 p.m. here, so 9 p.m. Central European time.
Lovely. Okay, so podcast will be on Wednesday, so it'll come out on Thursday again, guys.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do want to move on to the news ahead of tomorrow's game because Denzel Dumfries' injury is looking bad, guys. So the fullback is expected to be out for a few weeks and return between the Serie A match against Genoa on December 14th and the Supercoppa Italiana semi-final against Bologna on December 19th. Which even if he makes it for that, I don't think he'll start for the next 3-4 weeks, guys. It's not looking good. I don't think he'll be properly back before Christmas, which means, guys, the responsibility is on, first of all, on Kivu to make the right choices, but also on Matteo Damian. I can't believe I'm saying this. If slash when he is back, because I don't think he's returned to
Mhm.
training yet. And also, Luis Enrique. Forget the Carlos Augusto right wing back experiment. We saw that did not work in the derby. I just want to say that. Carlos Augusto, great player, just don't go on the right. Don't do it. It's too heavily
Yeah.
left sided.
Yeah.
Luis
Just, if
Enrique,
you need a defender, sure, but like don't make him attack on the right side there,
yes.
you know.
Luis Enrique, you have one job. Okay? Just this is your chance. Like, you know, like, what are you gonna do about it? In the words of, I forgot the name of the guy that is the meme, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Everyone is looking at you. What are you gonna do about it? Are you gonna, like show up, prove your worth, prove
Yep.
the money that Inter paid to you? Or is it just gonna be Carlos Augusto on the right because there's no way that, like basically the month that he has now, I feel like will define the rest of his Inter career. I'm not
Mhm.
Luis Enrique, he's not listening, obviously, but like if he was to listen, that's what I think
That's what we need.
the message is. Like no pressure, obviously, because again, um, we can't be too harsh, but it is the crucial month in my personal opinion.
Yeah, this is your opportunity. Take it.
Yep.
Play play freely, you know?
Yeah. And then, guys, to finish off this preview in terms of Atleti, obviously tomorrow 9 p.m. Central European time, as per usual for Champions League. Diego Simeone keeps flirting with us, guys. He keeps saying, one day I'll manage Inter, one day I'll manage Inter. He said it again today in the press conference. Shout out to Atleti Universe, our twins over Atletico. Um, yeah, he's he will manage Inter one day. I think it's inevitable. Whether it'll be in 5 years, 10 years, 3 years, 15 years, it's definitely on the cards, and it's just a match.
Made
Yeah, I
in
think it
heaven.
would work. Yeah, literally. Like there's so many things that make
We
sense about it. I feel like we'll see it sooner or later. Yeah,
Yeah. Crazy managers work at Inter. That's why we're called Pazza
absolutely,
Inter. So,
absolutely. I don't think I'm ready for the stress that it's gonna give us because it will be a lot of stress in a lot of games. But just for the
yeah.
for the for the love story, I think it has to happen.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
yeah,
Um,
unless you want to mention anything else, Sean, I think we're done for today. Again, guys, there's not really many news because it's just a lot of recycling of the same things that we already talked about the previous few weeks. There's not really much else to update you guys on, but the podcast is here for updating you guys on what happens in a week, so you don't have to doom scroll Twitter every day. Basically, that's what this podcast is here for. And the good thing is that you know sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. So these episodes will always
yeah.
vary, but that's
And I and to that, I'll mention, some other podcasts you can go listen to. So there's the Interviews podcast, there's Uncle Sharma, there's the Interjections podcast, there's
into
Tutto
worldwide.
Calcio, there's Interworldwide. Yes, thank you. There's the Italian football podcast. There's more, and we're missing some. Like, drop them in the comments. Honestly, if there are some inter podcasts, Italian, English speaking, like whatever, it doesn't matter. Drop them in the comments. They cover games well, and yeah, we're just here to bring you the news. So
Yeah, exactly. But as always, guys, before we end off, I just want to remind you if you want to drop any suggestions in terms of guests that you would like to have on the show, please let us know. We will try and get them on, whoever you guys want us to. Obviously, realistic, realistic guys. But we will also try and get our good friend Luca Bendoni on, obviously part of the Di Marzio team, before or during the January transfer window, just to kind of get like some insights into how certain things work, but also maybe some exclusives as to certain contract situations or whatever else is relevant, maybe the goalkeeper situation. Yeah, so we'll see on that. But any suggestions, guys, let us know in the comments. And yeah, Sean, I'll let you sign off.
yeah, of course. Thank you all for listening to us this shorter episode. Of course, like we did at the beginning of the episode, make sure you go hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell icon. If you're listening to us on podcast streaming outlets, make sure you leave a 5-star rating and a review. Share with all your friends. Go follow us on Twitter at inter_extra. Get us to 70,000 before the end of the year. And yeah, of course, thank you guys for coming. Forza Inter Sempre.